ladies and gentlemen, Kathleen Turner.
Good evening. I'm here tonight because Myrna Loy helped make it possible for me to be the kind of actress I am. She was the first actress who was brave enough to do sass on the screen. In The Thin Man, she was an innocent with a team of wild horses inside. She gave a new depth of character to the American woman. There had never been a woman like her before on film. A wife who was glamorous, not bland, loving and caring, but with enough spunk to talk back. Oh, and one other thing. She made it all right for a wife to be sexy. Jimmy Stewart said at the time, there ought to be a law against any man who doesn't want to marry Myrna Loy. She was voted queen of the movies. She was the favorite actress of Franklin Roosevelt and John Dillinger. In fact, her chemistry was so compelling that on the night of July 22nd, 1934, John Dillinger came out of hiding to see Manhattan Melodrama at the theater. And it was there, at the Biograph, that the FBI finally caught up with Public Enemy #1. Speaking of chemistry, did you know that in the Manhattan Project laboratories, where Fermi and Oppenheimer were developing the atom bomb, uranium was codenamed Tubaloy, and the other explosive element, thorium, was codenamed Myrna Loy. Off-screen, she is as real and as true as the characters she played. Her real-life dialogue contains lines that only Myrna Loy would say, such as in the 40s when she challenged MGM with these words. Why does every Negro in a film have to play a servant? How about a black person walking up the steps of a courthouse carrying a briefcase? That same spirit gave life to every role that she played. She had instinct, an innate power. You could see the layers of her character's needs beyond what she would just show you. The slightest thing she did on film had power, while others would chew up the scenery and mean nothing. Myrna Loy, you allowed us to become the actresses we are today. From Ben-Hur to the best years of our lives, you gave us some of the best films of our time. Myrna Loy, you are just swell.
Nora, darling sugar, Happy New Year.
Nicky, you're bleeding.
Hmm? Oh, yes, a little accident.
She made being perfect look easy.
Yes, you made any New Year's resolutions?
Not yet. Any complaints or suggestions?
Few.
Which?
Complaints.
All right, shoot.
Well, you don't scold, you don't nag, and you look far too pretty in the mornings.
All right, I'll remember. Must scold, must nag, mustn't be too pretty in the mornings.
Her Welsh grandparents settled on the open Montana plains. They were rugged, she said, but they had a certain poetry in them. Myrna liked to put on shows for the family, but freckled-faced and shy, she never took a bow. When they moved to Los Angeles, she thought, maybe one day I could be a dancer. She started her career in the chorus line of Grauman's Egyptian Theater. Rudolph Valentino saw her picture and said she'd make a perfect intellectual exotic.
The whip.
The women were so evil, she said. They were fun to play. After 80 films playing half-breeds and hedonists, a director wanted to cast her in a detective film. Absolutely not, said Louis B. Mayer. Unless she's free in 2 weeks to play a Polynesian. She would never have to again.
Say, how many drinks have you had?
This will make 6 martinis.
All right. Will you bring me 5 more martinis? Leo, line them right up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Nicky! Nicky!
Huh?
Take care of yourself.
Oh, sure I will.
Don't say it like that. Say it as if you meant it.
Well, I do believe the little woman cares.
I don't care. It's just that I'm used to you, that's all.
At long last, Myrna Loy was a star.
I know you. You're the prince. A nice, charming prince right out of the sky. A young girl's dream. And I've been waiting for you all my life. That's why no other man ever touched the tip of my finger. I have lived for a prince.
Miss Allenbury, if you go through with this case, it's going to throw 500 people out of employment. Men and women, jobless, walking the streets. Women like yourself, tired and cold and hungry, driven to drink and ruin.
You write the editorials, don't you?
Yes.
The woman audiences adored took time off from films to help wherever she was needed. What she felt inside would find its way to the screen. In a motion picture masterpiece, she would embody all that we hold dear and claim her place in film history.
Where's Mom?
Who's that at the door, Peggy? Peggy! Rob, who was... I look terrible.
Who says so?
Isn't fair of you to bust in on us like this.
I phoned you from Portland.
Yes, but you said you wouldn't be home for a...
We were lucky. We got a plane to Welburn, and I thought we were going to get stuck there, but we came right through.
Elle, are you all right?
Sure. Are you all right?
Of course I am.
In over 125 films, she brought an inner grace that made her a star. Myrna Loy, shall not loveliness be loved forever?
Will you marry me?
Well, Connie.
Will you?
Well, what do you think?
When?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roddy McDowall.
You know, there has never been anyone else quite like Myrna Loy. There is no tone quite like her baccarat crystal voice. There is no feeling quite like that particular mixture of reserve and romance. Joseph Mankiewicz once said of her, Myrna Loy has a smile that automatically changes the subject. I was smitten with her from the very first moment I saw her. So was the world. And so, in those halcyon days of film, were the brilliant and irreverent artists who were shaping the medium. Perhaps most of all, the musicians. Now, Myrna's living room in Hollywood was a mecca for all of them. Cole Porter, Richard Rodgers, Larry Hart, Noel Coward, George Gershwin. For the composers, the lyricists, the writers of that golden era, Myrna's home was their classroom. Yeah, perhaps she was their muse. The last songs that Gershwin ever performed the night before he became ill were on her piano. And so, dear Myrna, in tribute to you, we want to evoke that period of the 30s and the spirit of those artists who adored you. Here is a pianist whose keyboard always touches one's heart, Mr. Bobby Short.
Myrna, this song was written for your film, Love Me Tonight. And the lyricist for that film was Lawrence Hart, Larry Hart. I've never met you, yet never doubt, dear, I can't forget you. I've thought you out, dear. I know your profile, I know the way you kiss, just the things I miss on a night like this. If dreams are made of imagination, I'm not afraid of my own creation. With all my heart is here for you to take. Why should I quake? I'm not how you wake. Isn't it romantic? Isn't it a dream that can be heard? Isn't it romantic? Moving shadows right, the oldest magic word. I hear the breezes play in the trees above, while all the world is saying you were meant for love. Isn't it romantic? Merely to be young on such a night as this. Isn't it romantic? Every note that's sung is like a lover's kiss. Sweet cymbals in the moonlight to you. I will fall in love perchance. Isn't it romantic? in the trees above. While all the world is saying you were meant for love, isn't romantic? Merely to be young on such a night as this, isn't it romantic? Every note that's sung is like a lover's kiss. Sweet symbols in the moonlight. Do you mean I will fall in love by chance? Isn't it romantic?
And now, a classic from Myrna's gifted friend, Cole Porter. Lincoln Center Theater's National Company of Anything Goes, starring Leslie Uggams, Rex Smith, and Rip Taylor.